One more quick song to let a few more people get in the room. Little warning, tonight's show is only for the brave. Okay, we're going to hit some topics tonight that are pretty kind of disturbing, so get your drinks. We got a lot to cover tonight. Get your drinks, anything to eat, go to the bathroom. We got a lot to cover tonight. It's going to be kind of disturbing for a lot of people. Maybe not for some, but hope everybody's doing good tonight, hanging in there. Some crazy stuff going on. Let that notification get out there, get a few more people in the room here, and then we'll start the show. We got some seeds data, the missing data from the last few days to go over, and boys, there's some exciting stuff in there. So welcome everybody as we kind of get people gathered here, and then start the show here in just a sec. We're going to be covering the solar activity, the absorption event that's still underway, and we'll be talking a lot about the repercussions from that. So buckle up everybody. This show is really, it's not for the faint of heart, okay? Most of my viewers here have seen some shit, so it won't faze some of you, but what we're going to talk about tonight is going to get you're going to need to be well grounded in your foundation, have a solid relationship with Jesus before we get into this report tonight. All right, here we go. There's Norway getting pounded with snow, and the polar vortex really handing it to them. All right, let's just get on over here. First of all, let me back out of this and just get started with all the missing data, starting from the very first day of the year. All this data has been missing, so we're just gonna go through each day here one by one and document all this missing data here. So that's why I say grab your drinks, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do before we get settled in here. Okay, this was the first. Some activity going off here. Okay, not much. Okay, but I just want you to take a brief moment to look at the activity. This was starting the first of the year. Okay, this is activity that's already passed us and everything. This is right after the X flare. Okay, so we had our giant X flare right there at the very beginning, and then picking up from the X flare, because I want you guys to take note of all the activity down here, as well as halo events since our X flare. Okay, so we're gonna take note of all this activity right here on the first. Okay, especially stuff down below here. Anything that's kind of in this region could come at us. All right, so right after the X flare was this. Then let's go to the next day, the second, and while this is loading up, I want you to understand the second here, whatever happens here on this day, is going to affect us tomorrow, the 5th. Okay. So 3 days ago, we had this event, and this was the one I was trying to show you with the secondary object in the wake. And we're going to zoom in on this event here and just let it kind of, it plays better or looks better when it's in motion. So first of all, there's that side. All right, and so you can see what really happened. Let's come over to this side. And I'll slow it down a little bit too. Hang on just a second. Let me slow it down because we need to tab it slower. Let's see. Now, there we go. Now, you'll see the first object come out, leaving a wake, and then the second object breaks its wake, breaks its little teardrop cone-shaped wake right there, okay? And then one more time. Beautiful, beautiful evidence of our objects. There's two in a row. The first one making the little bow shock on the backside, the little teardrop, and then the second one coming and busting it up. All right, we're going to come over to this side. Here's your same event over here. Okay, so while that's kind of playing there, and I see a few more people enter the room there. Welcome, everybody. So let me first zoom out just a tad bit so we can pause it right and go frame by frame right through here. Okay, the first object's right here in that plasma. And if, all right. So right there's a good shot of it. And then let me kind of just scroll up a tad bit. I don't want to do the screen too much. There we go. You can see the small round object right in here, enveloped in a bunch of plasma. Let me scoot it down just a tad bit right there. Okay, even kind of like a little ghostly image out in front. But here's our, I guess this is the ghost image. Probably the object's here at this point. So let me go previous frame. All right, and then we'll go forward as this little guy comes out. All right, then as it's leaving this little wake of plasma, it comes to a teardrop point here. The secondary object comes and breaks up that teardrop. And there's a good shot of your object right there, right here, okay? And it moves out of the screen. Let me get this started again. Scroll down a little bit so you can see it. Now that's energy that could possibly be coming our way, all right? The tracker hasn't been very reliable lately, and there's so much going on. I don't think they can really keep track of it all. They just give you, the big one of the day or whatever. So this is energy that left on the 2nd due to arrive on the 5th. All right. Plus, look what else is going on out here. We've had some major events going on here. And then I'm going to go ahead and wait, one more. All right. And then I want to speed this up just a tad bit. And then I want you to watch this event over here on this side. Not all of it's there, but it picks up right there. So there was another object up there. So let's go pause. Whoops. Here it is up here. You can see our instrument reacting to it. Okay, so opening frame right there. You can see it's already reacting to this event up there. You see the blue and red lines. Another object coming out right there. Then this big explosion, right? See, we're missing data from 4 Then we jump to 12 with the tail end of this event. Now we don't have all the data, but look how far down this reading is reaching. That's just out in front of us, possibly. Now you see the direction that this object looks like it's moving. All right, let me back up again. I'll let you guys be the judge of this, all right? Let your trained eyes. All right, so there's the beginning of the event, or the tail end of it. All right, and then we have another quarter halo type big event right there. And then this event right here, which almost looks like a twisted magnetic field, and I pray to God that's not the case, because that could really mess things up. And you see this little guy over here hanging out. Whoops, right there at the end. All right, so let me put this back into motion. I'll slow it down a little bit for that one right there. All right, energy that might be hitting us on the 5th, okay? Now this next one is going to knock your socks off, folks. So that was the 2nd. Let's go to yesterday, the 3rd, and see what happened here. So let that load up for a second. Yeah, you guys might be seeing it already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this up a little bit to make it really stand out. Might even darken it just a tad right there. See our round object right there and plasma going around it, draping over it. So I'm going to go a little slower here. I think we went just a tad bit too fast. There we go. All right, so let's pause right about there. Let me scoot it down just a tad bit to where I can access the button. All right, midway through the event here, you can see the backside curvature of this object right here. Right there, you can see a lot of the curvature of the object. All right, right there. Here's our round object right here, and you can see the plasma reaching out and going around it. This stuff actually drapes and goes over this little white band right here, actually goes over the front of it here, looking like it has a face on it, kind of. But let me zoom out one dimension back and grab a hold of that button and keep that in the frame at the same time with max zoom. And then mess it all up. All right, if we can get some of that button right there. Okay, so beautiful display how this plasma wraps around and drapes around these objects and paints the contour of them, much like an invisible table with a tablecloth over it, showing you contour and edges. And yeah, that's it. That's an awesome shot of one. So I'll let you guys look at that for a minute, since it's such a dramatic capture there. And now that this data's up, come over here to the site, click on this date and look at it for yourself. Don't just take it from me. This is what their instruments are showing. Okay. I just went through it frame by frame for you so you could see it. And the motion is what really does it justice. Here, let's see if maybe just one click faster. Yeah. And you can tell the sun's reacting to that object. There's no, that object caused the CME. There's no question about it. I mean, there shouldn't be any question about it. I mean, unless you're blind. But what more detail the Lord's given us in these events now? We're starting to really see a lot more definition and detail in these events now. Okay, and it's pretty blatantly obvious in that one. There's no like, oh, here, let me do the tint. Oh, let me do this or whatever. It's the sun is reacting. You see the magnetic field around it, the teardrop shape at the end, the bow shock, not bow shock, but this teardrop shape at the end there. And I'm just going to let that play for a second while you guys wrap your minds around that, all right? And note the direction some of this CME ejecta is going. Okay, reaching down to about this angle. Just the very skirt of it, right? So that's going to be out in front of us, I think, maybe. And we might just see some kind of planetary object pass by us. Okay. Look at that. All right. Yeah, you thought that last one was wacko? Look at this. Yeah. Okay, so that was yesterday, the 3rd. You guys want to see what happened today? No. We're going there anyway. No, today's wasn't as bad. So let that load up. Except, yeah, we have another one there. And this, do you see this halo? Oh, boy. Maybe it is bad there. All right, right there. Let me back up a few frames right at the opening here. You can see this reaching down. It's not, the instrument's not reacting to it, but if you got a good eye, you can see it's a halo event. It came off of this sunspot up here, okay, and you can see it, and it's more facing us than it is on the limb now. So we're gonna get a shot again from that one. That's the one I showed you, the 3.8 that already, set off the absorption monitor. Okay, that was that one right there. So the flare itself with this full halo or half a halo, it's not even full, but it's definitely our region. Okay, so this flare already triggered that red spot while in absorption. Then we still got the CME, which doesn't look like much. It's kind of split. You see with this little V-shaped gap in the middle here? Not gap, but kind of like a gap. We might just shoot the gap there a little bit. I pray we do, because we do not need any more energy. All right. And that's something that we will talk about here in a minute. And then this, another event kind of out in front of us. And then this long duration here. And you can see, whoops, some object induced that. And then here, we'll go through that one step by step. So much going on. Boom. Back up. Zoom in. You can see the very top of this spheroid sticking out of the plasma. All right, so we're going to go forward now. Can you see our things right out here? This wall of plasma has built up behind it and is now shoving it out. So let me back up a little bit. This object comes out and stalls for a second. Watch. All right. As it emerges from behind the occulter, it's moving kind of slow. This clicking doesn't do it justice, but it's right here. It's moving really slow coming out, and then you'll see another pulse right here go up. It goes to pass it, but instead of passing it, it actually shoves it, gets behind it, and shoves it all the way through. Now, when I put this, when you know what to look for, I'll put it back into motion. Now watch it draw out slowly and then get a push and then exit the screen. You see that other little burst, the secondary burst comes, and instead of flowing over, it actually catches it and pushes it out. Remember, from like after the second blast, it's out here in front, right there. Now it's in front of that. So I'll let that play for another second. Let you look at that one. All right, and it looks like that might bring a glancing blow to us too. There's this, and this is, we might shoot this gap right here, okay, from the big one, and then this one will be out in front, and that one might be right behind us. Let's just pray that they don't interact, okay, and absorb, because we are already in an absorption event that is very, very disturbing. And that's where I want most of you people to leave the show and don't listen to that part of the report. I'm serious. You guys really don't want to hear that part. Anyways, so there's our inbound activity. This was today, so that will be hitting on the 7th. Okay. Oops. I wanted to zoom out first. My bad. Hang in there. All right, let's just come on over the other instrument. Okay, here we are. Our absorption event still underway. When I woke up this morning, I immediately checked this, praying that this event had lightened up and was over. Okay. It is still currently ongoing with green up here above, which is medium, and red, which is the maximum down here below. Okay, this proton storm started 2 days ago and has been in this intense status for 24 hours. Plus, we had the M3.8 set this region aglow briefly. Its CME is coming. We have one from the 2nd that's due to hit tomorrow. I believe that they're not going to report on that. They're trying to cover up as many of these as they can. They'll have to admit to some of them, but I think some of these ones that are coming in that they don't expect are ones that they don't want to report on them, or they don't understand. But this is very disturbing. This means we are taking on so much energy, such a charge for over a long duration like this. It's not good. I think it probably would have been better if that CME had hit us directly, really fast, caused one big quick spike, and then dissipated. This long duration charging like this, not good. It's not good. Sorry. I'm going to try to maintain my composure because I'm ripping my hair out. But here's your GOES X-ray flux. You can see it better on the other one. But what I want to show you, proton 99%. There's your 3.8 that I showed you earlier. Now look at what's going on here. We have 3 sunspot regions. 3536 is already dangerous. 3537 now, and 3538 are all beta gamma going red. We do not need that while we're still absorbing that old X flare. Your KP index is being actually pretty mild compared. This is your absorption, or not absorption, but this is the KP index that's our geomagnetic response. And you can see it fluctuating a little bit and nothing too big. Okay, that's good. But I think we might see another little, maybe not too big of a spike. These spikes haven't been so big, but we will see another impact here pretty soon from what hits us tomorrow. Okay. Back out of that and go to the auroras. Okay, now this storm that hit us didn't like hit us really strong and hard and intense, so it didn't really glow red and expand down to lower latitudes, but it has been this vibrant solid green for quite a while now on both sides as we take on that proton storm. All right, this is another indicator of energy that's getting directed to the poles. Okay, gets directed to the poles, poles send it to the core. Here's all your regions right here. In fact, we probably should read this real quick. Below is an updated look at the current visible sunspot regions. Solar activity since the M38 solar flare has been low. A number of low-level C flares were observed from regions 35, 34, 36, and 38. A new region turning into view off the southeast limb. A moderate M flare will remain possible for the next 24 hours. That's not the one I wanted. Proton levels. All right, low energy proton levels streaming past the Earth continually to gradually rise and is now finally at the minor S1 radiation storm threshold. This is a direct result of the X flare almost 72 hours ago. Needless to say, AR 3536 has been directly facing Earth when the flare was observed. Had it been directly facing when it was observed, a proton event and strong geomagnetic storm would have been very likely. And we talk about very likely, it's still going on. Only minor HF signal, blah, blah, blah. All right, they blow it off with, oh, it's only minor communication problems. No, it's major absorption. As of this update, the CME that left the sun late on December 31st, generated by the X flare, is yet to be clearly detected. This means the western flank of the CME. Okay, that's old. What was the other part I wanted? Nope, that's the older stuff. All right, let's open up the tracker real quick. Now they're showing a CME going away, but that's probably the one from what, yesterday or something? Or maybe that's the one from today that came off the side that we saw our yeah. Thankfully it's heading away. All right, that's good news. We don't need another pulse of energy coming our way when we're still in the middle of a long duration saturation. Now, more than an absorption, it's going to be saturated. It's the event that pops off after this is not going to be pretty. All right, let's back out of this. They're not showing much on that one. We got more to go. All right, now I want to come over here. This is the one with the article, I think. Hang in there for a second. All right, there's this 3.8. Okay, do you see the region where it is on the sun? It's not on the limb. It's more around this side. We're taking a good shot. When this thing reaches us, this came off the 4th. So early on the 4th, I believe. So that'll be here early on the 7th. Hopefully we'll be done with our proton storm by then. Just the meteor showers, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. This is what's our problem right here, is this latest flare on its way. This flare showed up during the during the saturation or during the absorption event. That was the red glow was from that flare, and now we still have the CME inbound CME from that heading our way. Extreme ultraviolet radiation from the flare ionized the top of the Earth's atmosphere, causing a shortwave radio blackout over Australia and the surrounding Pacific Ocean. Mariners have noticed, all about the loss of signal. Here, this is it. The polar cap absorption event, the X flare that happened on New Year's Eve, is still affecting the Earth 5 days later. A polar cap absorption event is underway, shown here, shortwave radio blackout. All right. So it hasn't lessened up. That was earlier today. This is the part I wanted to read. So these red zones in this global map show where radio transmissions are being absorbed. Frequencies below 10 megahertz, are almost completely blackened out, while anything below 35 megahertz is being attenuated. All right. What is causing this? Protons accelerated by the New Year's Eve explosion and subsequent lesser flares from the same sunspot. Note that in parentheses, and subsequent lesser flares from the same sunspot are hitting our planet. The Earth's magnetic field funnels these particles towards the poles where their ionization effects cause absorption of shortwave radios. This effect can be blah, blah, blah. All right. This absorption event could last for days. You can monitor its progress here. We're going to take a little peek at this real quick and play this quick little movie. Thank you for hanging in there. Now, this is when it plays this. Hopefully, it's going to be like our last 24 hours. And you're not going to see much. It's just going to show you the green and red the whole time, basically. Where before we would see this part glow up red or something with an impact. All right, yeah, it's playing, so it'll even show you the little bar down below so you can see where we're at. There we go. So during this whole time, there's a little brightening up. Something hit us then, a little impulse. But this whole time, both poles just locked in. That's like you recharged your battery in your car overnight or something, and you forgot to take the things off, and you're overcharging the battery. All right, now it's restarting. You can see just barely make out the little player button down here. Okay. So never once did this stop or break or weaken or anything over that whole 24 hours. Looking at this little video, 24 hours solid of that, actually making me sick to my stomach. So, because I know what it's going to entail here. So, did somebody else just go live? Oh, well. Anyways, so this is our primary concern right now, this long duration, strong absorption event. It could be worse. It could be red up here as well. You see these little pockets right here. When the sun hits it, we're still connected to a one long stream event that's still pummeling the planet. All right. And I believe that this event right now is suppressing a lot of the earthquake activity. All right. And when we come over to this earthquake activity, I'll kind of show you what I mean. It kind of, the impact kind of suppresses it. All right. First, though, let's come over here to the Schumann, where here's the third. All right. Basically started right here, and it's all missing. All right. Now, looking at the data coming out of the third, let's see if we can get this too many wavy lines. Find a little happy medium here. All right, I just want you to take a peek while we got it right here. This new stripe down here at 12 hertz. This is like where we see our magma coming up against the bottom of the crust and grinding on the bottom of the crust. This is stronger than any of the other frequencies. And I have a feeling we may have seen a giant spike here and possible magnetic field dimming, a brownout, a shutdown, or something. I can't really say for sure because the data's not there. But what is there is when we came out of said event and they started showing us data, look at our 7.83. It's not even there. Something else, these white lines are there. That might be a man-made induced replacement magnetic field for, down times like this. We might have some kind of operation going on where when we have weak magnetic field and we have these inbound events, we fire up CERN or some other thing that's creating these little stripes. This could be geological as well, these little stripes. But as we come into data, we have very, very weak 7.83. Very, very weak. And then it comes to life, a little scraping event, but the scraping event, the intensity part is down here. It's not a spike going up and down. It's right here going across. This tells me their magma is scraping up against the bottom of the crust. Pressure is building. Whatever happened here, I have a feeling we may have had a core lockup. Dare I say that? But I don't want to put that out there and scare too many people. We don't know for sure. There's no data. But coming out of said event on the 3rd, when I knew, and then look, the absorption event that we're still undergoing. Something major happened right here. In fact, where's the other one? Okay, here is a different shot of the human. This is a different way presenting it on a platform. Where are we here? So this band right here, this set of boxes right here is January 3rd, okay? Here is this big, deep, high, a dark stripe, all right? That one probably went up to 200 hertz or even more. All right, that was an intense spike. And then look how dark it got right after it. Imagine the other graph kind of tipped upside down. These are the low frequencies, high going up. So it's basically our other graph tipped upside down. All right. But look how high these frequencies went. They went off the chart right here on the 3rd, and then it got real dark. Still a lot of darkness over here. Okay, even leading up to this. And then here's the 4th. Bing, bing. We had a couple more. So something happened right here. This event right here, this big old stripe is missing from, that would be like right in this area. Okay, so whatever happened here, shut down the machine, or they're just not going to give us the data. They probably won't give us the data, but this looks reminiscent of when the core locked up before and then restarted again and started scraping along again. Because look how weak all this is, right? If I take this and block it, look to the left of this thing, there's hardly anything there. Hardly any kind of activity there at all. And then everything to the right of it now kind of comes back to life. So we had some kind of weakening or some kind of event there. I wish I could say exactly what it was, but we don't have the data. So, but I'll tell you what, this data right here tells me that it was something. Okay. So even though you hide it on another instrument, other things still give us clues as to something big happening there. All right. This is still residual. from the other one. Oh, what was I going to say? The evidence for this, well, we saw that spike, but what was I trying to say? What was I trying to say there, Lord? Anyways, we still got this going on. This is going to continue too, because we got more energy backing this up on the way. So we might continue to just see this flow. If you listen to Mike from around the world tonight, he was talking about a constant stream. And this might be our constant stream that he was talking about. I pray to God it's not. But for the moment, while this event is underway, it seems to be suppressing some earthquakes and keeping them at a certain range or level. All of these dots are all about the same magnitude. Look at them. Here, let me pull back just a little bit. And we'll go through them. They're not a bunch of big ones, but they're all peculiarly similar in magnitude. Okay, and that kind of tells me it's like almost like a fist. Something's grabbed the earth and is kind of squeezing it right now. There's energy still being absorbed, and it hasn't been released because this pressure is still being applied. It's trying to pop off underneath, and we're getting these little surges. So let's just get into our regular quake report here, and you're going to start to see the evidence of what I'm talking about. Right here, 4.5 down at 556, and a 4.6 down at 566. 2 deep quakes, mid-range 4, but 2, indicating pressure down below. Okay, they trigger stuff up at the surface. Let's come in here. 4.6 down at 120, 4.4 down at 154. Moving along. 4.6, 41. Pull this one over here just off of Java. 4.7. That one's down at 306. So mid-range depth there. Coming up to here, 4.7 at 72, 4.3 at 35, a 4.6 right there. Zoom in a little bit more here and get this one. That's a 4.4 at a depth of 10, 4.5. The biggest one of the day, 5.1 at a depth of 10 and a 4.3 there. Now on land over here in between these two, this is a different plate right here. This is like a peninsula plate right here. Out on this peninsula, this plate right here is a 4.3 down at 74. Okay, so all these tight mid-range 4s. Bingo, here's a new spot, 4.2 off of Japan. Just remember I was talking about stuff creeping up this fault line? 4.2 right there. We're finally seeing action out here on this boundary. 4.3 right there. 4.6 down at 138. Okay, nothing up there and nothing really across. And there hasn't been a lot of activity. These all kind of are still old. There hasn't been much lately. There's a 5.2 down there. So there should be like red ones every once in a while. And there hasn't been a red one in a while. These have all, been up for a while and have all been kind of sitting here. 4.6 on the Cocos. 4.7 on the on this fulcrum point here. 4.1. 4.3. All these mid-range 4s. And nothing really much over 5. Okay, that's good for right now. But I know there's pressure building up down below. And I fear that when this event is over and this release of pressure happens, That's when we're going to start to see earthquakes fire off. The longer this takes, the bigger the reaction's going to be. We need this to wrap it up and get it over with now and just take the consequences of what we've just absorbed. Probably magnitude 7 or an 8. Because if it continues like this, we're talking, we might see magnitude 9 quake. All right. This is really upping the ante right here. All this absorption is. All right. That's upping the magnitude of said quake. And lately we've seen them popping off at new locations, making new weak spots and everything. Let's come over here and talk about Mr. MBB too. This is Idaho. You better get over to his channel and watch his report on Yellowstone, because it has come to life now and has got all kinds of quakes, harmonic tremors, and he's wondering, this is a sign of something going on. It's trying to tell us something. Yeah, it's telling you there's pressure building up below. It hasn't been released, and it's continuing to build. We're about to see something pop off when this does release. As we get up here and check out this quake, I'm zooming in on it first before we hit the magnitude of this quake, because I want to see if anybody in the chat recognizes this crater and where we're at. Yes, that's right, Mount St. Helens. Very good. I heard somebody. 3.0 down at 11. That is on the flank of this volcano. And when I'm telling you pressure is building, you're going to see when it doesn't come out through earthquakes, it's going to come out through volcanoes. This is a hint of one of the volcanoes that it would use first. Okay, that little quake right there is an indicator. Uh-oh. Watch out around Mount St. Helens now. Okay, it's not a big, powerful quake, and it's not out here. It doesn't look like it's the result of inbound energy. You would have seen something creeping in or whatever. This one, you see where it is. It's on the flank of Mount St. Helens. All right, so watch out for it coming to life, you guys up there. And same with Yellowstone. It's coming to life too. Go over watch Mr. MBB's report on the volcano over in Yellowstone. He does a really good job of covering that. He deserves to get a view or two for that if you guys haven't seen it already. The rest of this small little scattered quakes, all right, but yeah, watch out by St. Helens. And here we go over here at Hawaii. The Big Island is still having quakes. Not much today, a 3.4 and a 3.2, but magma's on the move down below. It's coming up to the surface, and it's starting to grind on the bottom side of the crust right here, I believe. And that's just an indicator of the pressure building. So, see how quiet that looks? Enjoy it, because we're not gonna, pretty soon it's going to look like chaos. I pray I'm wrong. I pray to God I am wrong. I would love to be wrong on this one, all right? And if it is, that's great, you know. But I know how this works. And this long duration thing is not good. All right. Now, the volcanoes have been going off since the earthquakes, remember I was talking about the fist squeezing down. Like, imagine if you had an apple that was trying to, explode in your hand, but very slightly. You could wrap your hand around the apple and keep it, from going out everywhere. That stabilizes the crust. There's like a force that's squeezing back down, but it subdues earthquakes a little bit, but it doesn't subdue volcanoes. Those are still cracks and perforations in the crust where it comes squirting up out. All right. So real quick here. Oh my God, we got another one to do. All right, let's go through this real quick. Luatobi, Semeru, 14,000 feet out of Semeru. That's the island of Java. Marapi, 16,000 feet. That's our new one on Sumatra. 16,000 feet already. Popocatépetl, 19,000 feet already. See, all these are over 10,000 now already. Fuego, 18,000. Nevada del Ruiz, we're getting into 20,000. Reventador, 15,000. Oh, Sabancaya, 24,000. See, the heights are increasing. That's that pressure being relieved right there. And that was just this from the 4th. There's so much more going on with the volcanoes, but I got to show you something else right now. All right, so hold that thought. We'll come back to the volcanoes. See the smiley face? Here, there it is. Okay. Our double bipolar vortex has really increased in shape and size. This part that I was talking about last night, kind of branching out, is now finally filling in red. This part will fill in the middle and eventually as well. But it is now doing the split effect right over America, bringing cold air from the Arctic down into America. It will be affecting our storms here with a lot more snow. So here comes winter. You see the smile? It's turning to smile at you. Look into my eyes. Ooh. All right, enough. So we need to take this seriously. Now you see how this band coming across the Pacific Northwest is increasing its in strength. Okay, it's turning red. It's increasing in strength. It's taking everything and going backwards from the Pacific backwards across the Pacific back into Russia. All right. Now that's the upper polar vortex is doing that. When we come down to the lower, where are you here? There it is. When we come down to the lower elevations to the upper jet stream, you see what it's doing to the upper jet. See this big ridge that's dammed up now? All this is coming around up above. The air up above is coming around like this and causing this to buckle and weave. And this is really going to do a number on our weather now. This big trough, splitting stuff, going way down here, taking other stuff, aiming it right at the west coast. We have a deep trough in here that's really pushing stuff together into Mexico. This is going to be one of those, that storm that's reaching down might bring snow to Mexico. All because of the upper jet. Ooh. There's like an eye there, and a nose, and a weird looking face. All right. Anyways, enough with faces. You see this flow has caused the jet stream, this big long ribbon of intensity. All right. Now go back to the vortex real quick. Thank you, Lord. All right, you see this fetch still coming off, going right across Saudi Arabia up into there. We have this little notch that has seemed to like push this up and scooted it over more towards America now. All right, so this little vortex right here interfered and really shoved this thing. Remember, it was coming straight down Greenland here and making a hard left. Now it's going straight across, looping around, and still coming at Europe. Norway got hit with all that snow. You can see why, because they're right in the polar vortex there. And the other side is gaining dominance. And what happens when this one becomes stronger than the other? What's going to happen then? We're on a weird course here. Okay. Now comes another disturbing part that I don't really take too much pleasure in reporting on, but it has to be done. Okay, here we are at our SO2, and you can see our pressure around the planet. Now I'm going to do something, and I'm going to add hot spots to fires. Over here, Okay, it's kind of diminished now. Let me go back just another hour here. Where was it? 1 hour? About 3 hours ago. All right, there's the gases. You see it, this gas coming out of this part of Africa now? This is all SO2 coming out of this region now. Now, when I lift off the button and add the hot spots, you see that? Let's come over here and do the same thing. Let's come up here. It doesn't show up too well, but what we need to do is come over to here. We have hot spots growing in the Bay Area around this little emission site. But look at this SO2 coming out of, I think that's Mount St. Helens right up there. So these, the pressure down below, creating hot spots and fires. Oh, here. See how all these kind of correlate right here around this region? It's because of the magma down below. Here's your weak spots. You know, this might be an indicator someday of where we're going to see a quake too. When we see pressure like this build up and there hasn't been a quake in this region in a while. So it's darkening up, pressure's building. We have hot spots. Actually, that was a few hours ago. It has diminished a little bit. Let's come back over here. But you can see how these hot spots are firing up now, correlating with the with where our gas is coming out. Okay. So pressure's on the build down below, already bringing fires to the surface and stuff. All right, so watch out. All right, back to the volcanoes. Oh, I wanted to see if I could get. No. I want that map up bigger. Possibly. I wanted to point out some of the. Oh, not gonna have it. Not gonna have it, huh? All right. Let's just try one last thing real quick here. Let's see if we can get the. There it is. Let me just right there. All right, let you get. Oh, come here. Let you guys kind of take a look at that for a minute. You can see we have Shivaluj, Bismani, and Ebico, three of them up in this region, up at the peninsula, that are relieving a lot of the pressure in that area. We have Sakurajima, Nishoshima in this area. Mayan, that one came onto the list here. So I'll let you guys look at this little map for a second. Expect Reykjanes to go active again. Okay. Oh, I can't do that with this map. My bad. Okay, so there's just a brief look at your map. And some of these ones, Aoba, Uluwan, some of those are going to come back online here. Let me go see if we can get an updated one now. Oh, come on, Lord. Let me have the top of this page. There it is. All right, let's see if we can get a tad bit newer. See, 25 erupting, 18 in warning, and 33 in unrest. Unrest. That's a nice way of putting it. Oh, the volcanoes unrest. Already for January 5th, Fuego, Popo, Semeru, Ibu, Maharapi, Revenador. Yeah, let's go look into this real quick. Aha, Manam. This is a new one on the list. 9,000 feet. All right, Manam. We haven't been reporting that name a lot lately. That's a new one on the list. Just explosive activity continues. Just went off 9,000 feet. Add one to the list. Here's Evu at 8,000 feet. Luatobi, 9,000. Semeru even higher at 14,000. Marapi at 16,000. Popo still at 20. Nevada del Ruiz at 20. Reventador 14.5. Sabancaya is more sporadic. Okay, that was for the 5th right there. A little brief look at tomorrow's volcanoes today. Now let's get on over to our weather forecast. And we have more bad news. I hate being the bearer of bad news. That's why we try to do the good news at the end there. I'm going to go ahead and play this loop and let it just kind of do its thing. It's got to load up. That one kind of diminished, thankfully. It's this one. Oh my goodness. That thing changed again, huh? It looks like that first one diminished, though, a little bit. So that's a little bit of good news here. Wow. Look at this. Another one lining up there. Whoop. Back up a few. Okay, here we go with our current conditions, nighttime of the 4th right now. You see these two have merged. We got cold air and moisture combining right there, drawing up some severe weather by the morning of the 6th there. Or morning of the 5th, my bad. As we go into the noontime, you see it start to blossom and get severe here. So tomorrow in the afternoon, you guys in this in the Texas, Louisiana area, watch out. Gets intense by the end of convection right there. So there might be some tornadoes tomorrow afternoon in Louisiana. Continuing on the nighttime into Alabama and Georgia into the morning hours of the 6th into Georgia, even up into South Carolina, down into Florida there as well. And then it kind of goes offshore by the noontime. We still got snow moving up through that area, though. Okay, through the afternoon, another big impulse coming into the Pacific Northwest. There's the end of the 6th. So here, the 7th. Now, this is a day we're probably going to have some inbound energy. We saw that M4 come at us. All right, so it's going to be hitting us around the 7th. So this is the morning of the 7th. We could have some bombogenesis to either storm as this one leaves, this one as it arrives. That's the end of convection right there. So we go into the nighttime. It doesn't show too much going on. So whatever influence, we don't have much storms in the way to influence anyway. So that's good. We're at the night of the 7th. The morning of the 8th, as this low starts to wind up here, now it consolidates and grabs this moisture, combining it with the cold air by the noon of the 8th. This is when things start to get serious. After this, it really starts to go, blossom into the convection hours there. Snow, heavy snow here into Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, all this reaching back up here, even into the panhandle of Oklahoma, Texas. Now, at this point right here, this is the nighttime of the 8th. This is when people are going to be hitting the sack and you're going to bed and you're going to have this winding up. So severe weather there in Mississippi, parts of Tennessee, even Arkansas, Alabama. The morning of the 9th, right there. So the morning of the 9th, they might wake up to some devastation already there. I pray to God that doesn't happen. Pray for everybody in this region. Now you see how wide and broad this severe area is by the noon time of the 9th. There's the end of convection. This thing has really got its act together. It's winding up this beautiful comma shape. Heavy snow on the backside. That's a 983 millibar low. This severe weather coming up the coast is nothing to you better pay attention to it. It's nothing to snub. That's going to be a intense event right there, and it still looks to impact New York, Long Island, Washington D.C., Maryland. It's gonna impact that area by the nighttime of the 9th. So back up. That's convection. Actually, the noontime of the 9th. Convection, the nighttime of the 9th. So the 9th in New York is going to be a major storm moving through there. That's the morning of the 10th into the noontime. Convection, the nighttime, morning of the 11th, noon, convection, night, morning of the 12th, noon. See how these two are coming together again? I barely make out the moisture right here, but you can see this cold front coming in, and then they kiss. They're about to kiss. Mwah! And we have ice in between and severe weather there by the noon time of the 12th. Going into that actually kind of wraps up and dissipates, breaks away down here a little bit. Into the nighttime of the 12th. There we go. The morning of the 13th. This is the low that's going to drive down in here now. The 13th. Going into the noontime. Convection. The nighttime. Morning of the 14th. Noon. See them coming together and kissing again. Boom. Wait. This darn button. So noon. Convection right there. Severe weather here in Tennessee, Virginia area. Then icing up into like New York, the Great Lakes area. By the nighttime of the 14th, there's the morning of the 15th. Severe weather in the morning down through here, icing up through there, the 15th. Moving out by the noontime, up through Maine. Everybody in Maine that just got pummeled, watch out for this. That covers the entire state right there. So that might be an event to watch out for in Maine coming up here around the end of the 14th, the end of the 14th, no, 15th right there. Okay, another storm coming in over here. Boom, severe weather going on along the Pacific coast right there. Icing on the Pacific coast. Wow. Look at that. That's strange. Hopefully my camera's picking that up a little bit. All right, we're almost done here. Boom. It's the morning of the 18th. Another thing coming together here, possibly on the 18th. Big cold front, more moisture slamming together here over the East Coast. Look at that. Let's pray to God that doesn't happen. All right, moves offshore. Ooh, kind of skirts the coast. It's looking like that's pretty far out in advance, so I'm not calling any times. Then look at this thing coming up to the West Coast here. Boom. Around the 19th there. All right, that's it. Let me go ahead and hit the loop there, and kind of let that play for a second while I gather my thoughts here. We have the pressure is building. Okay, guys, let's get away from that for a minute. Come back to this for a second. Can we come back to this for a second, Lord? Please, can I have my computer come back to this? Just 1 second. It's Come on, Lord. Please, can we have that back? All I was trying to do was get you back to the D region absorption thing. Yeah, here we go. It's coming. This event has lasted way too long. This absorption event has lasted way too long. It should have only been 1 day. All right. The red intensity down here, not good. All right. Let's all pray that this event finally finishes up, disconnects, whatever, and we have our release of energy in the form of a pretty healthy earthquake. Or else, if it doesn't, you know what? Quit switching back to these. Neither one of these sites are doing very well. All right, let's just pray that this absorption event ends, okay, and that we don't take on too much. And maybe our volcanoes will help vent in the meantime until this fist is like let go, and we have a release of pressure. We're going to see earthquakes struggle to happen while this is still underway. So it's kind of protecting us at the moment, but it's also added energy. So it's like, you're going to get in trouble from dad. You might as well, come home now. Staying out later is only going to make it worse, right? So let's just pray that this event ends, that the planet handled it pretty well in absorbing it, and will dish it out evenly over a period of time through volcanoes and earthquakes instead of one big event. But the way this is turning out, the way it's absorbing, and the way that it's suppressing the quakes here. Oh, not like that. Come on now. Come on, anyways, you know what I'm talking about. You could kind of see by that map that here, please pull it back up. All those evenly distributed, same magnitude quake. It's kind of tells me that we're in this grip, and it's like you're being electrocuted and you're squeezing onto the handle and you can't let go, right? Well, it's kind of that effect until the charge stops, and then when you let go, all that pressure that's been building down below is going to really release. All right. I pray that when this happens, I pray I'm wrong. Okay, everybody pray that I'm wrong, please. I would love to be wrong on this one. All right, but I have a bad feeling when I continue to see this absorption just continue. I mean, it ramped up, it got intense, and it should ramp down, but it's continued for quite a while. We're overcharging the battery of the planet, and I think we're gonna see results in a very dramatic fashion. That the longer this lockup kind of happened, the more we take on, the bigger magnitude the eruption earthquake result will be. All right. We're talking magnitude 8s, maybe even a 9. This might be the time we see the big great quake of the Bible. The biggest quake ever in human history. Well, it could we're charging up for it. I'm telling you, this looks to me like it's the charging up phase for this big quake. I pray I'm wrong. All right, you guys, everybody pray about this. But if it's not the case, everybody prepare for. You saw what happened with just the 7.5. If we get a big one and it puts off a big tsunami and devastates a lot of coastline, that's going to change life forever, And I'm really scared when I see this long duration possibly changing us forever. Very nervous when I continue to see this going on. It should have been over this morning. Meanwhile, while it's still going, it is kind of suppressing our quakes. So it's good in one way, but it's ultimately bad in another way. So let's everybody be mature about this, start bracing for some impacts, some different changes. All right. And I think it might be affecting our, well, you can see it affecting the pressure down below, causing hot spots. Pretty sure it's the reason for our misguided polar vortex here. All right. This is probably because of the activity down below. Whoa. Does that stuff almost kind of follow the flow? Oh, you guys can't see the spots very well. What? Huh. You guys see it a little bit there? These fires kind of, these hot spots kind of in the zone of the flow. Yeah. This air going over these hot spots too is going to affect the weather too. All right. Okay. You guys are here for this for the spiritual report. You've hung out long enough for that too. I'm not trying to keep you guys hanging. I'm trying to just keep you informed. So you better have a strong relationship with your creator, because as things change, it's going to test you. It's going to test you. You're going to test your spiritual toughness. And separate the boys from the men and the women from the girls. Can we please have my channel? All right, there we go. Oh, I know which one I want to do. Bear with me here for a minute. We're gonna go all the way to Oh, you're gonna have the ad first or what? Maybe not. Let's see with this new camera if it picks it up a little bit better there. Some of you guys know what you're looking at there. That's the birthmark on the side of my chest in the shape of a stab wound that the angel told me was a mortal wound I'd suffered in a previous life. All right, let me pull this out real quick. So, this birthmark that you're kind of looking at there, shape of a stab wound, got faces in it. Angels told me that it was a spiritual scar. It was a mortal wound received in a previous life. That means I was alive. I was stabbed. I died because I was stabbed in the side, but I'm alive again. I am he that was alive and died and is alive again. I am the risen one, your living God. Celebrate the joy of serving a Savior who is exuberantly alive. Rejoice also in my promise to be with you continually throughout time and eternity. These truths can sustain you through the greatest trials or disappointments you will ever encounter. So walk boldly along the path of life with me, trusting confidently in the one who never lets go of your hand. Consider what I offer you, myself, forgiveness of all your sins, forever pleasures in heaven. This is all so extravagant and lavish that you cannot comprehend it fully. That is why worshiping me is so important. It's a powerful way of connecting with me that transcends your understanding. It also proclaims my presence. There are numerous ways of worshiping me: singing hymns, praise songs, studying and memorizing my word, praying individually and with others, glorying in the wonders of my creation, and serving and loving others with my love can also be a form of worship. Whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God, my glory. No matter how inadequate you feel, you can always look to me for help. You don't need to go to a special place or assume a certain posture or position to seek my face, nor do you need to use elegant language to work to win my favor. I always look favorably on you because I see you clothed in my righteousness. I am alive in you, and I understand your thoughts perfectly. So a simple glance at me, made in faith, is enough to connect you to my help. You tend to waste energy trying to determine whether your resources are adequate for the day. You keep checking your power gauge instead of looking to me for my provision. How much better to simply acknowledge you're insufficiently when you awaken. This frees you to rely on my boundless sufficiency. If you stay in touch with me, I will place enough power at your disposal to meet your needs as they arise. Keep turning towards me, your ever-present help, and your strength will be equal to the demands of your day. Hang on, let's switch images now. Yep, right there. Boom. Oh, there's the ad. Come on, HBO. All right, there we go. Free frame right there. Now, pick up where we left off. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies. I spoke this truth to Martha when her brother Lazarus had died, and she believed me. Shortly thereafter, I commanded Lazarus to come out of his tomb, and he did. Even though he eventually died again, as all people do, he knew he would rise again to life, as all believers will. Shortly before my crucifixion, I taught my disciples, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am everything you could possibly need for this life and the next. I am the treasure that encompasses all treasures. This truth can simplify your life immensely. I am the answer to all your struggles, the joy that pervades all time and circumstances. I can make hard times bearable and good times utterly delightful. So come to me just as you are, beloved. Share more and more of your life with me. Rejoice as you journey with me, the way who guides you always, and the resurrection who gives you eternal life. Whew. All right, that's a lot. Okay, only the brave. When you see all that absorption going on, and like kind of gives me anxiety and stuff, stop, pray. Remember, it's all because this is happening, because this gentleman right here made a sacrifice so we could be forgiven. You know, it's really real. It's all coming true. Thankfully, it's all coming true. All right. This should scare some people. but it should comfort others. Okay, so these calamities, if viewed from the proper perspective, aren't so aren't so disastrous. They are signs. They are more indications of the nearness, how close we are getting. Okay, and not to fear. Better is near. Okay. Thankfully, we got our information back from Seeds, data coming up from there. I'll continue to watch this. Everybody pray like your life depends on it. Pray for people in these regions. Let's pray that when this releases, this pressure grip that's on us, when it releases, that the earth handles it in a managed fashion and delivers, medium-sized earthquakes and volcanoes distributed evenly without a big pop of pressure going off. Okay, we don't want one big release all at once, though that potential is out there now. All right, I'm trying to just give it to you straight. That potential is so out there now, and the longer this persists, the worse it's going to be. So it's like we need this to wrap up and finish up before another impact hits us. Let the pressure release from down below via volcanoes, earthquakes, whatever, before we take more pressure on. Okay, so we got a full battery and it's still being charged. Everybody hold on. It's gonna get a bumpy. I think that's it for tonight, though. I'll be watching this closely. I might even do a little midnight report if anything changes. If we get something that squeaks out a quake, see here, a quake squeezed out right here, but it's at 4.9. Anything at this point should be a lot bigger. That tells me there's this grip that's limiting these quakes right now, keeping them from mid-range 4 to 5.2 is the maximum right there. All right, and you can just kind of, by looking at this map, you can just kind of see it. It's all quiet, consolidated, all kind of evenly distributed magnitude, and that's about to change. All right. Pray I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about all this. I would love to be, but we're seeing these textbook cases unfold right before this event. We had the M flare was an indicator. Then we had the this site, dude. Every time you try to click on it, it just all right, we'll just leave it right at that one right for a minute. All this pressure building up. We're going to have to have some kind of release here pretty soon. And I just pray that it's not in the form of something too big. But I'm going to put a warning out there. The potential is out there for a big, huge magnitude quake, a big, huge volcanic eruption. All right. Either one could cause, we've seen tsunamis already this year. So everybody hold on. All right. That's it for tonight. I love you all. God bless you all. I hope you enjoyed the show. And until my next show, I will be back. I'm already back.